There's something about gathering things from nature or your own garden that, well, it's really satisfying to me. Take, for instance, this beautiful purple fountain grass. It feels like the season. And just look at the color and texture, a perfect addition to the home. I love bringing a little nature into the house. But you know, you don't have to break the bank, especially when you're going and gathering. And when it comes to finding a vessel or a vase or a container for these, well, why buy something? Why not shop the house? Come on in and I'll show you what I mean. Hi, I'm Alan Smith and welcome to the show. Well, we're here in my mud room, or the room that I use for arranging flowers, but it's also a place where I used to collect all the stuff that I've gathered up over the years. It's amazing what you can find over time at yard sales, garage sales, or even on sale at stores. And you can see this array of different kinds of vessels and objects that I can associate with what I bring from the outdoors. Over time, all of us collect things. And what I like to do is take those things and repurpose them every chance I get. That's what I call shopping the house. So rather than going out and buying something new, looking around and seeing what I already have and putting it to work. So in today's show, we're going to reconsider how we might use some of these things that we've had around the house for some time. You know, all it takes is a little bit of effort and some imagination. Let's get started. Hey, are you a postcard or greeting card pack rat? Well, I am. How do you use them? You know, I don't know about you, but I love postcards and greeting cards, but it's like, how do you display these things? I mean, there's only so much wall space. So I'm always looking for fun ways to set these up and rotate them out in the house. And some of the things that I use around the house, this is a little napkin rack made of a couple of just teaspoons. It's just stainless steel, but it's a fun way to give a little support to some pictures and mementos. You can see you can just prop them in there like that and set them on a desk. And the other thing that I like to use is something like this, which is a toast rack. And it's great for sitting on a desk, and you can display them and rotate them around. It's just really an inexpensive and clever way to display pictures or postcards. And then if you want to get even more creative, you can take a wooden box with a handle, which makes a nice decorative element. You can fill the bottom of this with any number of materials to help stabilize the cards. So you can use glass beads or marbles. Just look at these. Aren't those luxurious? So beautiful. Or rocks of all different colors. Or you could use shells. I just love these mussel shells. They have a beautiful sort of lavender color to them. And I found these on the beach in Maine this past summer, and I just couldn't resist picking them up. And I wondered how I would use them. So in half of this, I can take these beautiful shells, and these can be used to support cards. And then just tucking the cards in like this, adding a few more. Some really cool colors. And on this side, you could even change out the medium that's going to support the cards and use some really fun rock. I just love these polished stones. I just love how smooth and sensual they are. So you can even get thematic, like these George Stubbs pictures of horses. And then look at that one. That's grim, isn't it? A horse skeleton. I'll even work that one in. Perfect for Halloween. So as you can see, this can be a fun decorative object in the house that you can rotate and change through the seasons or from week to week. One way to really jazz up a summer cocktail party or even a wedding shower is to take cut flowers like these and integrate them into a floral chandelier. Have you ever gone to your cupboard and pulled out a jar of honey and it's crystallized? Oh gosh, what do you do? Well, it's not going to hurt you. It's just that your honey might be a little crunchier than you might like. So what do you do about this crystallized honey? It's very simple. All you want to do is warm it up slowly and let it cool back down slowly. What I've done here is taken the water off the heat just before it boiled and placed the honey in it. Now, by the time the water cools down, this honey will be back in pure liquid form. Some people are tempted to heat the honey up in the microwave, but it's best to warm it up slowly. If you put it in the microwave, you can destroy some of the nutritional quality of your honey. When it comes to domestic animals, chickens rank right up at the top of the most popular animals to be kept. There's a lot of good reasons why, and you don't have to be a poultry scientist to figure it out. I mean, virtually everything about this animal is useful. Everything from the feathers, their droppings, and of course the meat and the eggs. My friend Georgia Pellegrini has a great way to use even the broken eggshells for a fun and crafty project.
Why limit yourself to boring flower vases when there are so many receptacles in your home that you could use? For example, these awesome tins that are vintage and cool looking. We've just gotten some great flowers from the garden and we just pop them in there and look how festive that looks. Now this morning I did something kind of fun. I went to visit the girls for breakfast and got some eggs. And I brought them back, and as I was making my eggs, I thought, you know, why throw out these eggshells? We should upcycle them instead. So I decided to make Alan a little flower arrangement. The way I did that was I took these eggs and I tapped them along the edge of a bowl, about 2/3 of the way up, and I carefully peeled off the tops. Now the way that you make your flower arrangement is you put them in a little container. You could use an egg carton. We have this really pretty porcelain carton here. And I'm gonna add a little bit of water. Now I'm gonna take some smaller flowers. I love using herbs because you can actually set them on your windowsill and they smell nice. I'm taking some rosemary. You could also use thyme. Oregano would be pretty, it would smell amazing. You could use dill, even some basil. Got some pretty little pansies here. The idea is you want color, you want scent, and you want flavor. And that's it, it's super simple. It's a pioneering way to do something that you would probably normally throw out and turn into something wonderful and new.
Just good old simple white vinegar is one of the best time-tested cleaners out there. You see, vinegar is great for loosening dirt, getting rid of grease. It's also an antibacterial substance, and it can deodorize as well. So it's the kind of thing you really ought to have in your cupboard all the time and put it to work. In a spray bottle, what you want to do is combine equal parts water and vinegar. So here we go with the water, and the same for the vinegar. Now for the fun part, adding some essential oils. You see, they have their own antiseptic qualities. There's a range of them you could use, anything from citrus to lemongrass, as well as what we're using today, tea tree oil and lavender. In this case, I'm going to use 10 drops each of the tea tree oil and the lavender. So here we go. Very good. Now the lavender. Now it's just a matter of applying the top, screwing the lid on tightly, shaking it vigorously, and now I'm ready to apply it. It smells so good. Now you can use this as you would any cleaner, applying it to wood, glass, metal, etc. It works great. Now the next time you need an all-purpose, all-natural cleaner, you know how to make it yourself. All right, let's get to work. If you enjoy the autumn tradition of decorating with pumpkins, you'll enjoy this creative way to get maximum use out of harvest time's favorite gourd, the pumpkin. Why not use them as vessels for veggies, herbs, and flowers? Today we're making a fun recyclable container for some bright colored flowers, perfect for composting after the pumpkin's lost its luster. Like any project involving pumpkins, this one starts with carving a nice sized hole in the top and cleaning out the guts. Now you'll want to make the opening wide enough so you have plenty of room to get your plants in. Use whatever kind of pumpkin suits your fancy, and believe me, there's a myriad of them to choose from. But I've found that the fatter, flat-bottom ones work best for stability. Now once you've finished cleaning out the pumpkin, now the fun begins. On the face, you can paint something or you can carve something. Use your imagination. Then it's time to actually apply some soil. What you want to do is fill it about halfway. You want to leave plenty of room for your plants. That's pretty good. You can see we've got it in there. And then it's just a matter of sliding a plant into the pumpkin, settling it in nicely like this. Now you'll want to make sure you water this just as you would an ordinary container, but this is a very simple version. You can use your imagination and come up with something with, say, ornamental grasses. Now once your lovely little planter starts to look a little worse for wear, you can plant it directly in the ground. As the pumpkin begins to break down, it will provide your young plants with extra nutrients that they'll be sure to enjoy. I think it's important to note, if you choose a paint for your pumpkin as part of your decor, you shouldn't plant it into the ground lest you leach harmful chemicals into your soil. Once you get started, you'll have so much fun you'll get carried away like I did. I did this grouping of 3. The main thing is just get creative, have some fun, and in the process you'll be improving your soil and feeding your plants. Paperwhite narcissus are so beautiful, and they're one of my favorite plants to keep in the house during the winter, and they're so easy to encourage to bloom indoors. Unfortunately, those happy flower clusters can be a bit too heavy for the stems, but not to worry. You can make supports out of just about anything. Feeling like you need to redecorate but a little low on funds? Why not shop your house for items to make a fun tablescape? My friend Bunny Williams stops by to show us how.
My name's Bunny Williams. I'm an interior designer. I live in New York City. I think my style is making really comfortable homes. I want to create atmospheres for people to love their homes, live in them. One of the most wonderful things when you're setting a table is to look around your own house. Everybody has a collection of this or things that they really love, and I think it's so much fun to pick up objects that mean something to you and use them on the table, along with flowers and other things, and it makes it really personal and something that will only be your table. One thing when you come to somebody who loves birds and chickens, you realize they're probably going to have some bird and chicken-like things in their house. So finding this wonderful collection of white bisque birds, finding these fabulous feathers. I even found a container that had some spotted eggs in it. So all of a sudden I realized here's the theme for the table. So I added those to some beautiful glass pumpkins. Then we had these wonderful orange tulips and crab apples with the same color, so it sort of came together. It's like painting a picture, really. I think you should try to avoid a centerpiece that's too tall. You have to remember people are going to sit at the table, they're going to have dinner, and you hope they're going to have a great conversation. So they need to be able to see each other. I think sometimes when you're setting the table, you want to build it up into this sort of mountain of beauty, and then the people sit down and that's all they're looking at. So I try to keep everything low and making the top of the table interesting, but still during the course of the evening people can see over it and have a wonderful evening. I think the main thing is to have fun with it, to go shop from your own house. And the main thing is to be creative and to make your own table and make it very special.
Bunny, what is this? You have been so busy.
Well, since you're cooking dinner, I decided I was going to set the table.
Oh my goodness, this is gorgeous.
But I love, because you love birds and your chickens, I went around the house and found your collection of birds.
Oh my gosh, it looks fantastic.
And then I found this beautiful piece of Indian textile.
Oh, I haven't used it before. That's gorgeous.
So we made the tablecloth out of that. I think anything can be a tablecloth, and the colors just work so beautiful with your glass pumpkins and these beautiful orange tulips and,
it's
and the feathers. So it's sort of a table that looks right on this farm.
You're amazing. Oh, this is wonderful. Well, I better get busy in the kitchen.
Yes, you better.
All right. When most of us get a big bouquet of flowers, I think the tendency is to just take all of them and put them in one vase. But you know, one thing you can do is break them apart and create several creations and spread the love around the house. My friend Jay Schwanke is a master at doing this.
I always love to pick up beautiful flowers and put them in vases so that I can spread them all around the house. Lilies are a perfect option for us. And here we have a bunch of 10-stem lilies. This is generally how you'll get them. And when you receive the lilies, you want to give them time to open up. And when we allow them to open up, we put them in flower nutrient water, we cut them and allow them to get bigger. Sometimes we'll have a single individual blossom, and we can drop that down inside a vase just like this. A vase like this with 2 bottles is perfect for a few stems. We'll remove the leaves that would fall below the waterline and place our stems right down inside. Now this stem has several blossoms, and this one just has a few. But look at how great they look together. The other thing that's helpful is to remove the pollen. If you see the little pollen pieces like that, as soon as the blossom opens, remove those. It'll make the flowers last longer. Our milk jug is perfect for several stems. We'll cut one stem shorter, and we'll use another stem longer. A vase like this is perfect for a couple of short stems, and it'll make a perfect centerpiece. A vase like this has several places for us to place single flowers, so we can split up our blossoms and place them in our bird vase. Look how easy that is. It's a great way for us to take 10 stems of lilies and several vases and have flowers all around the house.
So how did you do shopping your house? You know, it's amazing the things that we can come up with, new ideas using old things. You know, not only does it help the budget, but let's face it, it helps the environment. Less and less stuff ends up in the landfill. So what's good for us is also good for the planet. Hope you've enjoyed today's show. Until next time, I'm Alan Smith. Okay, so lavender color to them. And I found these on the beach, and aren't those luxurious? So beautiful. Just love these polished stones. I just love how smooth and sensual they are. How's it sounding? It sounded rattly and gravelly.